Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening, we have the one, the only, 3 in a row,
It's Walter
Earl Nieto.
I live at 308 Negra Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87104.
Well, Earl, thanks for sharing your address with everybody. We appreciate that. Maybe you'll get some pizzas thrown on your roof.
God, I hope so.
Earl has immediately walked away from the show. I think that's how we all feel after 3 losses in a row.
I thought I was prepared, but I forgot my cellular device.
Oh, well, Earl, you obviously weren't a Boy Scout then. Always be prepared.
I'm prepared now. We're good.
Okay. Earl is prepared now. So, welcome on in, folks. If you are with us this evening on Facebook or YouTube, hop on over in the chat. We'd love to get your questions and comments throughout the night, particularly about the match against San Antonio on Saturday evening. A little bit of a life update here real quick. I want to apologize first and foremost to Harry and Robert, who made the trip up from San Antonio. I had intended to meet up with you guys either Friday night or Saturday prior to the match. My life kind of took a turn on Friday. I am the currently unemployed Seth. So I am looking for a job. Things hit the fan Friday. I had to make some really quick adjustments and try to get back on the right side of things in terms of employment. So sorry I missed you guys, would love to meet up with you guys. And I've been hitting up Earl over here to try to get me hired through some nepotism. So
I something just dawned on me, man.
What's that?
I know a place hiring.
Really?
Burger cheese, bacon, burger cheese. We can do this all day.
BK. Have it your way.
Yes, folks, Earl has a soundboard. I don't know how I feel about that. Earl has a soundboard. I'm subject to torture until Jacob comes back. So, Robert, appreciate you being in the chat. Yeah. I will disagree on the great match perspective, but yeah, I missed seeing you guys. Like I said, I had to try to get some things taken care of, get back on the right side of the payday man. So, let's just get right in.
Before we go any further,
okay.
I did finally get to meet probably my only fan. That's no pun intended, by the way. That's not for actually they're hiring all the time.
Yeah, they are. OnlyFans is hiring.
You can also tell pictures of your feet. I'm just giving you ideas, man.
You are.
In reality, I did finally get to meet Robert for the first time in, I think he's been following us for 4 years now. Mm-hmm. Maybe 3. Probably the only guy that's Team Earl, minus Marlena, Maya, and the newest member of the Somos Mas club that we have here. My nephew, who Robert got to meet over the weekend, Javier, also known as Javinero. So it is proof that obviously Robert is Team Earl, but so is Harry, and there's pictures to prove it. And during this incredible meetup, I finally got to do something I've never done before.
What's that, Earl?
Finally got to receive a scarf from an opposing club.
There you go.
So, Robert, thank you for this. I appreciate it. I do believe that you are afraid of Marlena because you took off without saying hi to her. Such is life, I guess. Your loss.
Let's. You know what? Do you want Earl? Do you want good news or do you want bad news first?
Send it.
Send it. I don't know what you're talking about there, Earl. Send it. I think that means some good news.
So yeah, my nephew did say he didn't like you because of your kit. But then he did text me after I actually put it on Facebook on that post that watching me talk to you and Harry was the best time of his life. So I'm gonna take it as it is. He kind of likes you guys. I don't know why, but that's that.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll get to the match here in just a second. Robert and Harry, if you're in the chat, would love to get y'all's opinions on Saturday night, although I'm fairly certain I know what they are already.
Can we get your good news already?
We can. The good news is that there have been some Pete leaks ahead of the match, ahead of at the beginning of this week as well. And new chatter, Shauna Habanero.
So yeah, so that is not Shauna Rivera. That is
Okay.
actually my oldest nephew on Marlena's side. Actually not my oldest nephew on Marlena's side. Possibly my youngest nephew on Marlena's side. Javi, who I call Javi Nero because why the heck not? But whenever I see him lurking around, this is kind of how I feel.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for watching. That's gonna be it for us. I'm done. Now, yeah, Pete leaks all week long. We had a Pete leaks Saturday ahead of the match. Pete also talked about it on his weekly segment on the ESPN Radio 117 The Team yesterday. I'll go ahead and share my screen here once again. And we have a new signing coming. It's been teased. It's been put out there. It is now official on Twitter. According to Pete Trevisani, the new signing is someone who has played with none other than Lionel Messi. And my guess, after the very limited internet sleuthing I did earlier, is Schneider Borgelin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is my guess. This is who I believe is being announced this week by United, a 21-year-old forward.
No, I know who it is.
Really?
I have inside sources on who it is.
Who is it then?
Holy crap! Donald Trump!
Jesus Christ, Earl! Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I was not expecting that. So, yeah, I really don't know how I feel about it. Am I glad we have a forward coming in? Yes. But I don't really know a whole lot about him. That's the problem. He's played in 10 matches this year with Inter Miami, 9 shots, 1 goal, which is not promising when it comes to a forward, although I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. If you look at his career stats, 2 years with Inter Miami, 134 minutes, 10 games played, 9 shots, 1 goal. Now I'm curious to see. I need to do some further research to see if maybe he played at Next Pro or somewhere at the USL level. I don't know exactly where he came from. He is a Haitian international. He did receive a call up ahead of CONCACAF this time around. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the club. Earl, what do you think about this potential signing?
Obviously, we need one because this past Saturday showed that our only attacking option is not an attacking option.
Yeah.
So we need something in a hurry. I mean, my tagline says it. If I could figure out how to work my fingers, right there. 3 in a row. We have now lost 3 in a row. And I don't have an answer to what's actually happening. Instead, we're still looking at everything you got going on. So be careful what you show.
That's why this browser's. No, I kid. No, Yeah, so it looks like he played with Bethlehem Steel. Interesting. Okay. According to his Wikipedia, 25 appearances, 1 goal. So, and then he was with Inter Miami 2 in 2022, 23 appearances, 14 goals. So look, maybe there's something here. Maybe this is someone who can help make a difference. Maybe this is, maybe this is the piece we need. We have 12 matches left. Do you think there's enough time for Borgelin, for Zuleta, for Reyes to make an impact, for them to help turn this team around?
I mean, at this point, hosting a playoff game is almost impossible at this point. We're 4 points out of 8th place, so 4 points out of a playoff position. Mm-hmm. Granted, we still have a couple matches in hand on a few people, on a few teams. I'm correct, right? We're just sitting in 10th.
We are in 9th. We do have at least 1 match in hand on everybody.
Oh, we're in 9th place?
Yeah, we're in 9th.
Oh, what I saw on ESPN on their Facebook was 10th place. But
well, ESPN doesn't know shit.
I know that. But regardless, we are 4 points out of a playoff spot with the little sister El Paso right ahead of us. We still have a chance for a playoff spot. I won't say we're done until we're done. But I do know with almost every breath of my being and every fiber of my breath that's in my being, hosting a playoff match is virtually impossible at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 3, 4, 5. I mean, we're 6 points off the mark there. Yeah, I don't know. To Robert in the chat, y'all need some offensive punch. This could be great news. I mean, we certainly hope it is. Hopefully he comes in and makes an impact. It looks like he had a pretty good season with Inter Miami 2 last year. Again, MLS Next Pro. Nobody watches MLS Next Pro. Like, nobody can even figure out where to watch MLS Next Pro. So, and then again, it's MLS Next Pro. So the quality of competition he was facing, and I know he got a first team call up. I think to say that he played with Messi might be a bit of a stretch. He might have trained with him, maybe a little bit, but yeah, I mean, we're on the fringe. We absolutely are. If this is in fact the signing, and I do believe that it is, because I did reach out to a couple folks, and no one would confirm it, which is pretty common when we do figure it out. No one confirms anything. I do have a comment. Nothing good comes from the Philly area, and if he was Bethlehem Steel. So, fortunately, he's not from Philly. He's from Haiti. So, maybe.
Well, I know who that comment didn't come from.
Who did it not come from?
That comment did not come from David Carl.
No, it did not.
Because we know David Carl, and David Carl is all about Philly.
He is.
Robert, I'm hoping to God that comment is not true. Where Robert says, we're still up there. Okay. Why do y'all put green chilies on everything? I ordered pancakes at Denny's and they asked me, do you want a bowl of green chilies? I'm like, what the fuck for? Sir.
Before you answer, Earl, I have been to Denny's many times. I've never been asked that. So you, Earl, as a native New Mexican, why?
Yes, I have been asked if I want a side of green chili, a bowl of green chili. Did you say no, Robert? That's what I want to know.
My guess is he did, but I'm with Robert. Why is Denny's asking if you want a bowl of green chili with pancakes?
Because it's green chili. Why the fuck not?
As a native New Mexican, I can see where that answer comes from, Earl.
Exactly. Javi has it exactly right, because we Mexican.
Okay.
And in reality, green chili belongs on everything. I mean, you can go to the Range Cafe shameless plug, by the way, and get a green chili apple pie.
All right. So why is that a shameless plug? I'm curious.
Because we're not sponsored by the Range Cafe. We're also not sponsored by the Albuquerque Isotopes. We're also not sponsored by
it's not a shameless plug. It's a plug that, hey, please come sponsor us. You know,
we're also not sponsored by Gold Peak.
good to know.
You know who we're also not sponsored by?
Who's that?
These guys.
Well, given the result on Saturday, they may very well be the new owners of New Mexico United. Just absolutely dreadful performance by New Mexico on Saturday. 3-0 loss to San Antonio FC. And honestly, Earl, you and I talked about it last week. Neither of us were big on our chances heading into this matchup on Saturday. I actually had us losing 3-1 Saturday night. Didn't come far from that, unfortunately. But, I mean, I don't remember what your prediction was. I think it was
2-0.
2-0. That's right.
So I came really close too. I was almost right.
Yeah, it was rough. And looking at what happened on Saturday, how are you feeling right now? I mean, obviously 3 losses in a row has got to be demoralizing to an extent, not only for the players, but for the fans as well. And when you're coming off of 2 losses in Orange County and Hartford, where you really should have picked up points. You know, the expectation really was that you pick up points in those 2 matches. You come up against San Antonio, chances are you're not going to pick up any, but if you pick up a point against San Antonio, you're happy with it. But it's looking rather bleak at the moment because there's nothing that's been inspiring in any of these 3 matches, if you ask me.
Yeah, you said it right. So I guess we'll just jump right into it, and the match that was for San Antonio, because 2 minutes into the match and you had me like this. Yeah, 2 minutes into the match and I was already crying. And then I see Robert and he's over there having a ball. And then the second one goes in, and I mean, I don't know who to put the blame on now because Sam didn't play too bad.
No.
But then Alex can't block shit.
I mean, you know what? The placement on Zuhair's balls, like, I just unreal. Like putting 2 shots in, you know, the top in the upper 90, like there really wasn't a whole lot Alex could do there. I mean, you know, you look at, and I'll pull up the highlights here for us. So we go over them while we're talking. Wrong button there.
So what I've decided is counting these 3 matches. In regards to Alex Tambakis and his play, one comment I have is
He can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah. I mean, this goal right here from Zuhair, you know, comes off the corner. I mean, Sam gets a pretty good clearance on the ball. It just happens to fall to Zuhair, you know, near the top of the box. And, you know, one time upper 90, I mean, really great shot. There wasn't a whole lot that Alex could do on that one. And, you know, San Antonio was just off to the races at that point. You watch the way San Antonio played. They played a high press for the majority of the match, and they just, I mean, they were just all over United. There was no time. And even once San Antonio went up 2-0, the pressure increased that much more.
Oh yeah, they definitely did not let off of the gas. I mean, I mean, 2 minutes into the match, they're scoring the first one. Which, yeah, the first touch volley for a goal. I mean, I'll give that to you any day of the week. The set piece goal, I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in just a bit. I do want to point out something here to some of this. We're talking about, Robert talking about no identity here, and we talked about the pressure. Just watch the pressure right here in the midfield from San Antonio. You've got 3 guys there within 6 yards, and Suggs gives the ball away, and Justin just overruns that ball there, and San Antonio's immediately on the attack. That's what San Antonio did all night long. They were just all over it. They seemed to find every single gap. They were smothered. United, they really did. And then here's that set piece goal. Obviously you have the feint there, but Zuhair, unreal goal. That distance, that position, you're watching for the cross. You're really not expecting Zuhair to go for goal there. But really great placement by him to get that ball, particularly in the upper 90. You look at that, and the XG is not great on that goal. To have just enough curl to get that under the crossbar, really great attempt by Zuhair there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it wasn't. The placement of Zuhair's ball on that free kick was phenomenal. You can't place it better than that. But as a goalkeeper, you can't fall for the fake that you know is going to come. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, this guy's gonna kick it," when you watch tape on this guy, knowing that he doesn't ever kick it. So that's where I'm at. Tambakis had a very, very poor match. And you can vouch for him all you want, but at the end of the day,
yeah. And again, right here, you see Harry just getting absolutely mugged. Well, I hate that your first match was a loss. I hate to see that. But yeah, it's United just really couldn't breathe.
See, and it showed right there. I don't know if you can rewind it just enough. The pass right before this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back a little further. Right there. Yeah.
The pass by Portillo, that was a swing and a miss. There was no fineness or finesse to that pass. That was the ball's at my feet, let me kick it away. I don't want it by my feet because I'm getting mugged. You can't play that way. And that's the end of the day. You cannot play as if the ball's a hot potato. I have to get rid of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this goal right here, just absolutely incredible cross. The world-class cross right there. And you look back, you look at the positioning of the guys. Even with Sam, where he's at, the ball's over his head. There's no way Sam's getting to that. Kalen's a step behind, and it was just absolute perfect placement on that cross. There's really not. Honestly, there's not a lot that Alex could have done. Maybe shade, to his left a little bit more, but seeing the run coming, he's right there, and that shot's just inside the box. That type of pace on it. It's not going to leave much of an opportunity for really any keeper. He'd have to commit before that ball is even shot, to be able to get down in time. Now, we can always go and get, Casey Gasson, our resident goalkeeper expert, to help school you here again. But
I would love to have Casey back on. I really would. To go off of Robert's comment, it seemed like the sun was in Tambakis' eyes, maybe leading to a late reaction. Sun or not, Robert, that's the thing. He has been notorious for late reactions. He almost let one go above his head into the goal 5 minutes into the match. We're almost down 2-0 5 minutes in. So as much as I'd love to blame it on the sun, I'd love to blame it on the rain or the warm weather because it wasn't even hot. I can't. And ultimately, I blame it on a piss poor game from Tambakis, is where it's at. Which, yeah, I mean, I wanted to stay for the press conference. The press conference got started super, super late, and I obviously had a 2-hour ride home. But reading the notes from the press conference, Eric Quill took full accountability of this match, where he said, I thought I knew the club. I didn't. I didn't know this team. They took me by surprise. I was unprepared. Okay, cool. As a head coach, okay.
Yeah, the fact that he took responsibility for it, speaks a lot. I don't think we've heard that type of candor in the past from either Zach or Troy. So to hear him, put it on his shoulders and say that, that he wasn't prepared, that he wasn't able to prepare them, it was good to hear that, and I mean, yeah, Earl, you're gonna blame 10 back. I'm just gonna say this is San Antonio. This is San Antonio. They've been hitting their stride again. They were my favorite to.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
I mean, you can think whatever you want. You certainly can. And obviously, you and I talked about, subs last week. The subs came a little bit earlier this time. But here you see, Eric Quill getting sent off with the second yellow card of the match. And I mean, clearly, he was agitated. Someone else over there was agitated for much of the match. And there were some questionable calls, especially in the second half. The referee was good pretty good in the first half. In the second half, there's some questionable calls. I'm not, obviously
100%.
Can't say that at the match that's what the issue was, but I mean, you could see why guys were getting frustrated, why guys were upset towards the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, where we were sitting right there at the bend, section 106. So we had a pretty straight view of what was going on. Brucey was getting manhandled and abused like a redheaded stepchild. And then that's just the thing. I mean, I don't have any words I can say. That's just.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it boils down to San Antonio is a better team. They are, and I know Harry last week in the chat said, I believe it was Harry had San Antonio winning 1-0, and I really truly believe that was giving us far too much credit, especially given our recent form. And I know that historically the matches have always been tight, but I mean, you look at the level of talent that San Antonio has compared to what we have, and while we can compete to an extent, we just didn't have the physicality. We didn't have the accountability for the lackluster passing, for the I can't even say lack of energy, because that's not even it. Like, it's not even a lack of energy. It was
we had tons of energy.
Mm-hmm.
We looked energetic, but every time that we had an idea or a thought, it wasn't even an idea, it was just a thought that didn't leave our head, bazinga, there was San Antonio scoring on us again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a good night for United. I mean, across the board. And you saw us losing the midfield battle time and time again. And that's someplace that we've always said that United needs to be at their strongest. They need to be at their best in the midfield. They need to control the midfield, make that transition pass going forward. And there were far too many instances where the pass wasn't getting forward, or San Antonio just closing down way too quickly. And if you listen to Joe and Sam on 1017, Joe is of the opinion that San Antonio is the best club that we've ever seen come into the lab, including Sunderland. And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, San Antonio looked like they could compete in MLS. I'm not gonna lie, they look like they could with the level of talent that they have. So I'm not surprised that we lost this. I really wanted to be wrong last weekend, but I mean, the club has to find a way to turn this around. And yeah, Quill's not going to be on the touchline this weekend, but Masaki Hime is going to be there. I'm fairly certain it's going to be Hime in charge, but Quill's going to be there throughout the week. Running training, getting the guys prepared, hopefully for Saturday against another tough opponent in San Diego. But I mean, I look at Saturday. I've watched it, twice now. After the fact, and I cannot find a positive in this match.
No, 100%. There was, I mean, the only positive was I got to meet my biggest fan. That's it. The second positive was Javi got to go to his first United match.
Mm-hmm.
But on the pitch, watching the match, there was nothing good out of it.
Yeah, I will say too, like watching from home, this one, the broadcast was real shitty. Like the camera work was real shitty. I don't know if you've gone back and watched them. It was bad. It was really bad Saturday night for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it was really bad. The broadcast crew did great. Ty and Heather, they did fantastic. Coach Dyke was in the box with Tyler Ortega Saturday night. So glad to hear her. I feel like she had a much stronger performance in the booth this time than she did in her last time out. There's our highlight. There's our positive from the match. The broadcast team. I felt like it was rough. It really was, and again, it doesn't get easier from here on out. 12 matches left. Again, I think it's 10 or 11 of them, I did the math, are against playoff level clubs right now. And San Diego is going to be tough out at Torero Stadium.
Yeah, we've never played good at Torero Stadium. I mean, we've only had one decent performance where Ilya Illich, if you remember him, that's a flashback.
That was the match that he had that
Mondo tore his leg.
Mm-hmm. That was the Mondo's ACL game.
So that was probably the last time we played decent with them, and even then, that was a draw.
Yeah, we got away with that one. Like we even, it's easy to say, we stole a point from that one.
And Robert, I would love to take your comment into consideration, where you say San Diego isn't in good form at the moment. You know who also wasn't in good form? Hartford. And look what happened there. We blew a 1-0 lead to lose 2-1. I mean,
well, to be fair, we should have been down a lot earlier in that match.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, San Diego, they won 3 of their last 5 losses to Memphis 901 and Orange County. Playoff level clubs. I mean, Orange County has really come on. They've won 4 or 5, including against us a few weeks ago. So I can't sit here and say that Orange County or say that San Diego isn't in form. I mean, they've lost to 2 playoff level clubs right now, in their past 5. So, it'll be really interesting to see. I don't trust us on the road. Not right now. I think there's a lack of confidence at the moment. I think there's a lack of, not necessarily lack of identity, because we know what we want to do, but
so you say you don't trust us on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust us in general.
I see that. You said they struggled against Loudon. Okay.
And the reason why I don't trust them in general is you're 8 matches in with Quill?
Mm-hmm.
So you're finally learning his identity. Finally learning what he wants to do. And then he picked up a double yellow, and now he won't be there. So now one of the biggest matches that we have for the rest of the season, we don't have our head coach. And now we're using our assistant coach, which granted, he has a couple games head coach experience now. And that's nothing on Mac. I mean, I trust Mac has full control of it. I trust that he's going to know what to do and how to do it. But at the end of the day, we have our head coach for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at. I mean, you can only trust what you can see.
Yeah, it's I don't trust us. I don't trust us on the road. I don't trust us, even if San Diego has struggled, in a couple of their recent matches. I think San Diego is. I think they're a shoe-in to make the playoffs. I don't see them falling out. More than likely, they're going to get a home match because at this point, I don't see El Trasho making a run at it. I know. I know that Seriously Loco is like shitting their pants down there because they have no idea what's going on. They've even talked about, is it time to break out, the hashtag, fire their coach. I don't see Phoenix making a run at a home playoff spot. Colorado maybe, but yeah, I mean, I trust San Diego at home far more than I do us on the road. And I just don't. We never play Loyal well. We never have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who's on Loyal's team anymore. But regardless of that, we know who's on ours.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, even though we have the talent, for whatever reason, we're not gelling well. We're not communicating well. And it's late in the season now. Right now is where we should be cleaning the small things. But instead we're rebuilding at this point. Mm-hmm. And that's a scary idea this late in the season to rebuild and try to make a playoff run at the same time. I mean, I almost want to apologize for Yuma for sucking so bad, but that's
it's I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a rebuild. Like, I get it. I see where you're coming from, but we really should have beaten Orange County, or at least picked up a draw from that one. We got I mean, anything can happen, obviously, but Hartford came out and they played their game, honestly, their best game of the season. And they had a lot of pace that we were not dealing well with. And, you saw San Antonio kind of push us around. So we just have a really tough time playing against anyone who presents a better midfield than we do, that presents more physicality than we do. And I think San Diego has both of those.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our midfield, we don't have physicality. The last time we had physicality was Andrew Tenari.
Mm-hmm. Tenny was a lot of fun.
There was one other person who was the other guy that was with him that was just as good, or just as ferocious, I guess.
Serge. How about Sammy Sergi?
No, Sammy didn't play anything for us. He was on injured reserve the whole season.
Yeah,
it was Tenari, and I don't remember who the other one was. But that year, that our COVID year, and the year after, where we had Tenari and them, and we played COVID year, and then the year after, our midfield was aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our midfield is not aggressive. Our midfield is flashy and more showsy than anything else. And it kind of goes hand in hand with, I want to say hand in hand with the Bees injury. As soon as we get Bees back, that aggressiveness in the midfield comes back, I think.
I think Bees coming back helps. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think who you Cello or Azira?
Cello was good. Let me find it.
I'm trying to think of who you could be talking about in the midfield. The only other person I could think of is Lindsay, but he really didn't play all that many matches for us.
No, he was a short, stocky guy, just like Tenari.
Okay.
If you want to buy some time, I'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm trying to think of who you might be talking about, but yeah, it's been a rough season. I mean, it really has. Yeah, we've had some ups, we've definitely had some downs. And you look at San Diego again. I haven't seen too many roster moves from them here in the middle of the season, but Ronaldo Damas obviously up top, Moshe Bani. You got Nick Moon. I mean, I think they're, like I said, they're shooing for a playoff spot. Fairly certain they're going to get a home playoff game. I could see them potentially making it to the Western Conference semis. I don't see them winning the West, obviously, because San Antonio is still my pick for that. But yeah, they're a tough team, and I just don't see us matching up well against them, particularly at Torero.
And by the way, that guy was David, not Jim.
Oh, Naj really didn't play all that much either.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think he did. I liked him, but I don't think he played that much.
I think you're wrong, but
David Najam, 14 matches, 11 starts, 836 minutes.
okay.
Yeah. So he played less than half the season.
Which season are you looking at?
2020. Or 2021. Sorry, 2021.
I'll say 2020 was our COVID year, so we only had 16 matches in general.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you played more than
Najam in 2020, 13 matches, 719 minutes. So he was, I think, if I remember, he was mostly he split his season half between subs, half starts. So, I mean, yeah, Naj was a good guy. I think he played really well for us, but he wasn't impactful.
See, I thought he was. Between Tenari and Najem, I loved our midfield, and that why I liked our midfield because we still had JPG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we need, as much as I want to appreciate the striking forward that we have coming, I think we need something midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a short-term loan while we get Bees back, or a long-term loan for the rest of the season.
Well, that's how we got Nicky.
Okay.
And honestly, Nicky's been one of the most impactful players that we've had this season.
Yeah, Nicky has been impactful, but I mean, Nicky can't control the entire midfield on his own.
Well, no, he can't.
When you have Nicky trying to do his thing, but then you have other players being more flashy and showsy than anything else, I mean, that doesn't really pan out to what you need.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's tough. And, we're weeks away from the roster freeze date. No one's going to make any other significant changes or any changes. I think it's the second or third week of September. So, I mean, these guys don't have a lot of time. Even if we were to bring someone in now, again, there is a signing coming, I believe, tomorrow. Because the club typically doesn't tease things out more than a day in advance. So watch for the signing announcement tomorrow. I mean, could he be impactful? Yes. Is it going to be enough? I just don't know. Because it's not just going to come down to one player. It's really not. It's not going to come down to just one player. It's going to be the guys have got to figure out how to work better in space, how better to relieve that pressure, particularly if we see San Antonio again, should we make it into the playoffs and against some of the other teams. Because, again, I think everyone we're up against, except for Vegas. Is it Vegas? I could be wrong. Not Vegas. I think everyone else is above the playoff. Tulsa. Tulsa is below the playoff line. Everybody else is above the playoff line. So, yeah, we've got to figure shit out and quick. I'm sorry. Tulsa is now just above the playoff line. I apologize. Tulsa is now just above the playoff line. So, but yeah, you look at our schedule and it's not promising. San Diego, Oakland, Tulsa. I was correct. Vegas. I apologize. Vegas is below the playoff line. They're on the Wednesday, August 30th, but I knew I'd seen Vegas in there somewhere. I had them on my mind. So, I mean, this is a brutal back end of the schedule. It really is, especially given the form that we're in right now. And at this point, we could either surprise some people and make the playoffs, or we could surprise a different group of people and not make the playoffs. I mean, I think if you make the playoffs in a year where you make a coaching switch, I think that's a positive. I think it would take a pretty substantial effort and turnaround for us to get a home playoff home playoff match, which is what we've been wanting. And
yeah, like I said, I don't see us getting a home playoff match. I've already accepted it, and if we do get a home playoff match, cool. I was wrong once again. But at this point, I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think we get to the 4th spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we do either. I think 4 is a stretch because right now, again, we're 8 points off of 4th. So, I mean, right now our goal needs to be playoffs. I think that's the goal right now. If I'm Eric Quill, I'm getting them prepared. I'm saying, okay, we're going to be in for a fight the rest of the season. It's going to be we have to play the hardest that you played all season long.
Yeah, and that's exactly where it's at. I mean, you need the leaders. We need the leaders to step up, and we need the younger ones to step up even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you kind of mowed over it, but I mean, my prediction for Saturday for San Diego, as much as I don't want to predict, I go 1-0 them.
1-0 San Diego. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's a perfectly, logical, it's a perfectly logical choice there, given our form, given San Diego's form, given the talent that they have. You look at San Diego is 3rd in the league in goals scored. They are also in the bottom half in goals conceded. So, they're a good team. They really are. I look at this and I'm going to say 2-1 San Diego. Again, a loss on the. If we were at home, I might, go like 1-1 at this point, given what's been going on. But on the road, no confidence. I'm going 2-1 San Diego. I just don't see us doing it this weekend. Again, I want to be wrong.
Yeah, and I want to be wrong. That's where I'm at. I want to be wrong on this one. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, I'm almost willing to bet that I won't be wrong. And in case you're wondering about the Leagues Cup happening right now in the MLS, obviously Messi's Miami already clinched their ticket, and the club that you personally hate, Nashville, who I personally support, have a ticket against Messi for the final. So which means it's me versus Marlena.
You two know you're going to lose that one, right?
It's Messi. Of course I know that. Okay. And that's why I will not be taking any bets on this one.
Yeah, I saw a stat earlier. Inter Miami had won like 5 games all season long prior to Messi joining. Then they've won 5 of 6 since he's joined with I think it's a plus 14 goal differential in 6 matches.
Yeah, he scored 9 goals in 6 matches.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I put a Twitter, it's Messi is head and shoulders above the rest of above anybody else in this league. Above anybody else. Like it would honestly, it would not surprise me if in the time that he spent with MLS, unless he retires, he will become the all-time goal scoring leader. I think it's just ridiculously stupid.
I would not be surprised either. I would actually put money on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I have it. I mean, 1-0 loss because of it, and I know we're all over the place tonight. 1-0 loss. That's where I want to be wrong, and that's where I'm going to sit.
The GOAT gets a hat trick.
You're talking about Mukhtar, right?
No, sir. No, Mukhtar is not even close. That's like saying Tony Snell is better than Jordan. So,
well, I mean, depends how you look at it. Tony Snell's a better team player.
Yeah, that is true. All right, folks, there you have it. There's our predictions for this week.
What?
What?
Huh?
Yeah. There's our predictions. We both predicted New Mexico United to lose again this weekend. Saturday night's match is at 8:00 Mountain Standard Time on ESPN 2. So
live embarrassment.
I'm sorry, 7:30. Match is at 7:30, not 8:00. So you can watch that ESPN 2 national disgrace. Yeah, for New Mexico United on Saturday, more than likely. There will not be any radio coverage this weekend. ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team is carrying the Dallas Cowboys preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks on Saturday evening. So there will not be New Mexico United coverage this weekend. I also think there may not be coverage next Saturday either. I'm going to double check on that again because of Cowboys preseason. But as soon as I know, I will let you guys know. So yeah, Earl, any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Actually, I don't have any closing thoughts before we get out of here.
All right. Guys, everyone in the chat, Earl, how do you pronounce your nephew's name?
Javi.
Javi. Okay. Javi, thank you for being here. Robert, thank you for being here. Tom, appreciate you popping in. As always, folks, if you're with us here on Facebook and or YouTube each and every Tuesday night, you can hop in the chat like all three of them did tonight. Got their questions and comments read here live on the air. The podcast feed will, of course, be live later in the week with this week's episode. So, again, Saturday night, 7:30 Mountain Time, New Mexico United out in San Diego, taking on San Diego Loyal. So, for Earl, for myself, for Jacob, who is still at the police academy, thank you guys so much for being here. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, Somos Unidos.